Giancarlo Esposito, get off my cover. It's my turn. This is a story. It's one of my favorite stories. My dad just emphasized the importance of education. Stay in school. He'd wake us up at 4 o'clock in the morning, take my brother and I to work with him on a milk truck.
That looks great.
I've always maintained that I led a very privileged childhood. I led a privileged childhood because I was born into a poor family. We had very little in material possessions as a child. They were almost non-existent. But we had a love and a bonding of our family that was just beautiful. My dad was a milkman, and he worked for a major company. And he was given orders that if anyone did not pay their milk bill after 2 weeks, that they were to stop the milk. He made his own rule, and his own rule was if they had children, he wasn't stopping the milk. And he never did. And many times, as a matter of fact, he would pay a little bit of their bill and then say to his superiors, they're making an attempt to pay. And he didn't have the money, but he never would stop the milk if anyone had children. I learned through my own personal experience that education is the key to success in life, to a good life, to a prosperous life, to an understanding life. My dad just emphasized the importance of education. Stay in school. He'd wake us up at 4 o'clock in the morning and take my brother and I to work with him on a milk truck. And he'd say, if you don't want to do this the rest of your life, you better stay in school, because that will help you in life. My life's dream was to go to law school. My dad and I drove up to Boston and had an appointment with the dean of Boston University School of Law. And at the conclusion of that interview, the dean said to my dad, I'm pleased to inform you that your son will be accepted to Boston University School of Law. I'm also happy. I'm going to go to Boston University School of Law. I was in college at the time. What I did not factor in was how was I going to pay for it. So I had a different plan. And I planned that what I would do was I would switch my major to education. And I would teach school days in Providence, and I'd go to law school nights in Boston. Except that it wasn't that easy just to change your major. So I was told that I had to speak to the head of the education department. His name was Father Quinn. He was the most accommodating person ever. He understood perfectly my situation. And when I graduated from college, he made sure I got a job in Providence teaching school, and he followed through until I went to law school and became a lawyer. Mr. Corella, you are charged with a school zone violation.
I don't drive that fast, Judge. I was going to the blood work for my boy. He's handicapped.
I've been lucky to work with my father for 30 years now as an attorney every day in our law office. And I've been able to see how he is day to day, and not only at work, not only on the bench, but in his life outside of those roles.
I'm blessed to have my father as a father, and he taught us good morals growing up, and he always inspired in us that family comes first.
I think the whole world knows that that word is compassionate. He shows his compassion, through his work that he's done as a judge and outside of being a judge.
Everything he does, to this day, he has his mother and father speaking to him.
My faith is keeping me on an even keel. I had a very dire prognosis. I'm still fighting it. It's pancreatic cancer, which is a very dangerous disease. And so I am in daily prayer and ask everyone that I can if they would help in that endeavor. You look back and get angry at yourself for some of the things that you think you should have done, you know, and you didn't do, and you try to make up for that. But it has a profound impact on how you live your life.
Tell us a little bit about your love for cooking.
You know, Sunday routine from our family, as well as many of them, was that we would go to church on Sunday morning, and then after church go home, and we'd have a big dinner, even though it would be lunch. But my mother would make meatballs. Meatballs was like a big thing in the Italian community. A lot of the conversation among the mothers was, how do you make your meatballs, right? And they'd share recipes, and my mother always thought she made the best meatballs, you know, and the other people did as well. And she had a special recipe that I still have to this day.
That's great.
I'm publishing a book. It's coming out in February. It's called Compassion in the Court. And it's about my early life, and it's about my experiences on the bench. I want to give them that exact message that I'm hearing from people all over the world about how other people are treated. And I wanted to give the message that this didn't just happen. It was because of the closeness of the family unit. And that was it with my dad, you know, that always help others in the smallest of things. If he was driving down the street and saw someone that was in distress, he'd stop. If he saw someone he knew, he'd stop and give them a ride. It was always giving of yourself. And since that message has resonated so much on social media, I thought that I would share my upbringing and my experiences on the court with the rest of the world. I'm always surprised, no matter where I am in the world, walking down the street in London, walking down the street in Italy, walking down the street in France, people will say, oh, you're Judge Caprio, you're Judge Caprio. I was brought up in a poor family, but a giving family, you know, and those lessons like never stopping to milk, helping others, go out of your way, make sure nobody's hungry. I bring home kids that didn't have enough to eat at home. My mother would be cooking, you know. We didn't have any money, but we sure had enough food. The road is long, the street is wide, but I know that you will proceed honorably with your head held high on that rocky road to the end of the highest learning.